Good morning, Villa fans, and welcome to a match reaction to Aston Villa 0, Newcastle 0. A little bit of an extended video, so grab yourself a nice cup of coffee. I was actually there yesterday as well to see the opening game of the season. Here's a picture of me on the steps at the Holt end. Really enjoyed the day. Maybe not the result so much, but I've kept my record up. I've never seen Aston Villa lose a game of football. We came close in this game to losing. But no, my record is intact. 0-0 draw to open the season up. And yeah, we march on to the next game. So wanted to sort of talk to you about the game, talk to you about my little trip as well, and just talk to you sort of, about my thoughts about, how the game went, and obviously picking up a point. And you can see that I'm completely merched out in Villa gear. So obviously went to the club shop, and this hat is now going to be a familiar sight on this podcast. This badge as well, this shirt too, lovely little shirt. So I did a bit of shopping there and just met some lovely people as well. It was great to meet a few people that actually recognized me, which was a bit strange, even at the stadium and even in the ball ring later on. I went into the Aston Villa club shop there and I had somebody literally come up to me, sort of pointing at me. And I was like, is he pointing at me or is he looking at something behind? But no, he was like, oh, no, I watched the podcast. So if that was you, lovely to have met you. My son was sort of running around, so I had to sort of catch up with him. So I didn't have time to talk for too long, but lovely to meet people. And yeah, it was just felt a bit weird sort of being recognized. So yeah, this is working. So really, really good. So winding it back, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my trip as well. So some of this will be trip related. Some of it will be obviously Villa related as well. So what we decided to do is that we decided to travel up on the Friday, rather than sort of, I know it was a 12:30 kickoff, and notoriously myself, my wife, our timings are not great, and we always end up getting to places late. And obviously, I didn't want to get here late, didn't want to get stuck in traffic. So what we decided is that, you know what, we'll go up on the Friday, we'll get a hotel, we'll make a kind of weekend of it basically. So we stayed in the lovely sort of Hilton Metropole in, I think it's Solihull kind of area. So we took in, the sights of Birmingham when we got there as well a little bit, and then sort of jumped into a Pizza Hut in sort of Star City, and then had enjoyed a nice sort of evening swim in the swimming pool, and then sort of woke up refreshed for the game. Obviously having another swim in the pool at sort of 7:30 in the morning, which is quite nice, just to get the body working a little bit as well. So really enjoyed the stay at the Hilton Metropole. Shout out to them. Met a nice couple of Villa fans that work there as well, and wishing me best of luck for the game and everything as well. So that was good. Then drove down to Villa Park. We parked at St Edward School, just the other side of Aston Park, and then obviously had a lovely little walk through Aston Park as well on the way to Villa Park. So I mean, look, I don't get to come to see Aston Villa very often. Some of you might know, and I might have mentioned this, my son is disabled, so I have a lot of sort of caring responsibilities for him, and he's highly autistic, non-verbal. And he struggles a lot of the time with places that are full, loud, like football matches, basically. So what I've had to do is that I'm taking him to a few kind of Reading games. Obviously, I'm based in Reading, so we go to a few Reading games just to get him used to kind of the atmosphere and the noise. And, he's done all right with that. There's been a few occasions where, we've had to walk out after 2 minutes because he's had a complete kind of autistic meltdown. So, there are sort of challenges to him. He does wear the sort of ear defenders as well, but was adamant not to put them on for this game for some reason. And I'll come on to, his little tantrum that he had in this game as well. But so we're walking through Aston Park, lovely little walk, make it to Villa Park. We were planning on going to the club shop, but we ended up getting to Villa Park about midday, and it was cutting it a bit fine, sort of getting to the club shop, then getting back into our seats and all that sort of stuff. So we decided, let's get to the seats early. Let's get my son kind of settled into it. We were sat in the family area in the Trinity Road stand, sort of B7 block, right by the corner flag. So shout out to anyone that was sitting around there, and some lovely people. And, I met some really nice sort of Villa fans there as well. So we were right by the corner flag, basically, looking onto the pitch. So as I said, we get into the block. We get up to where the steps are to our seats, and we're on the concourse, and then all of a sudden, my son has a complete meltdown. He just refuses. He's throwing himself on the floor. He's trying to grab hold of kind of random people. He's not violent. I don't want to paint that sort of portrait of him, but he's autistic. He doesn't understand the kind of world around him, and it can be difficult for him to navigate everything. So he just point blank refused to leave the concourse to climb up the steps to the seats. He was very much stuck in his ways, and he would not budge. So what ended up happening is that myself and my daughter sort of took our seats. My wife and my son stayed on the concourse. There were some benches there that they could sort of sit down, and he ended up just staying there for the entire match with my wife. So I was looking forward to taking him to his first game at Villa Park. The last time that we went to Villa Park before this, he was actually in the sensory box. And that was a few years ago. If you guys remember, over COVID, when we had a friendly against Villarreal, I think it was around Christmas time. That's the only time that we managed to sort of get him into that. So we might have to look to book the sensory box for him if he's going to come to Villa Park in the future, because he just couldn't take the noise. Honestly, going to Reading where you've got like 23,000. Sometimes, I say 23,000, that's the capacity. It's never full at Reading. It's about half that, basically. You're looking at 12,000 maximum sometimes. And he can kind of cope with that. It's okay for him. But I think Villa Park was pretty much packed yesterday, 42,000. And it was loud. I mean, even my daughter, who was with me, was sitting next to me for her first game, kind of said to me, "Daddy, can you turn down the volume?" And I was like, "It doesn't kind of work like that. This is live. This is happening now." So she was like, "It's very noisy," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, but you just have to get used to it." So that was my So I was basically every sort of 10 minutes when there was a lull in play, I was sort of running from my seat down to the concourse to make sure everything was okay, and all that sort of stuff. So my match experience was a little bit limited, a little bit. Not the best, but it is what it is. We get on with it, and basically moving on to the game in its entirety. Nice build up to the game. Nice sort of moment silence for Diego Jota at the start as well, which was excellently observed. And then kickoff, and then obviously lineup wise, we knew that Bizot was going to play. We kind of knew Matty Cash. Dino got the nod instead of Martson, which I was a little bit not annoyed about, but we'll take it. Mings and Konsa at the back. I said in my preview it would be either Mings or Powell, and I was happy with Mings, and I thought he did really well. And then Kamara and Onana. So I called this, and I wanted Onana to play with Kamara, and he did. Tielemans sort of played more advanced, as I said he would as well. And then we had McGinn, who was obviously going to be captain of the team, so he was definitely going to play. And then it was all about who's going to get the other side. I wasn't expecting Morgan Rogers to kind of play in this game, to be fair. I thought maybe, because he sat out the last two preseason games, he might be on the bench, but he started and finished the game, which was a bit strange, but there you go. So Morgan Rogers started there and Watkins up front. I was looking forward to seeing either Malen or Guessand to start this game because, in my opinion, and this is just looking at it from a sort of a coach's point of view, I just think in your football team, you need play if you're going to play at a good level and be successful. You need players that can ball carry, that can get you up the pitch and go past defenders, that can commit defenders. Because once you go past one defender, another defender's got to come towards you, which then opens up spaces for other players in your team. It's basic. Whether you're under 9s, whether you're under 15, whether you're academy, whether you're Vanarama Conference League or whatever it's very called, you need players that can go past players to basically create the challenge. We saw what Newcastle did. They had quite a few players that were happy with dribbling the ball, and that's how they played well against us. And we just did not have that. Morgan Rogers was our only ball carrier, and I must say he must be playing at like 50% at the moment. He's not fully fit. Didn't look right, and I just felt Guessand or Malen out wide, and then you can swap them around, would have been much better. Just giving us something in behind. McGinn will give you the work rate, absolutely. Tielemans will give you some quality and class. I just thought maybe Rogers was a surprise inclusion for me in this one, considering that he missed the last two friendly games. And then Watkins up front is also always going to give you that willing running in behind and trying to stretch the defence, which he did on a few occasions. But it was not great. And then early on in the game, Newcastle were the team who kind of got through. Alanga, I think Konsa and Mings kind of collided into each other, which left Alanga with a one-on-one against Marco Bizot in his first game at Villa Park. And what a great save from Bizot. What a great save. I mean, that was full stretch. Excellent save. Palms it away as well, so there's no chance of a rebound or, putting it back in front of him, things like that. So really good save from Bizot early on. Newcastle still looking dangerous. I think Anthony Gordon had a chance, a low drive after that as well. Villa didn't test Nick Pope in that first half at all. I haven't seen the stats for this, but I don't think we had a shot on target. I can't remember him making a real save. A couple of, clutching the ball out of the sky and things like that, but not a real kind of save and stuff. So it was quite disappointing in that first half that we didn't create much opportunity. Everything was narrow. You've got Cash and Dean, you're trying to provide width, but yeah, not against Newcastle. You can't, because they're always going to try to counter-attack you with pace. And you can see they've added Alanga. Anthony Gordon was playing really well in the game. I'm not sure, did Harvey Barnes start the game as well for them? He might have done, I think so. And he's always going to cause a problem for us as well. And then obviously that midfield three of Joelinton, Guimaraes and Tonali is always going to be a tough task to get around. So, yeah, the first half ended goalless with Villa doing very little. I can't remember much at all in terms of highlights. I haven't watched too many highlights back either yet. So this is just from memory. And then second half starts. We did start the second half a bit better. I think there was a corner routine work to John McGinn, who tried to cut back onto his left foot and produce a wonderful cross towards sort of the near post area. And Boubacar Kamara gets good contact to it. And if that's either side of Nick Pope, that's a goal. But he hits it straight at Nick Pope. And that was the first kind of real chance that we had in the second half. And then I think there was a chance for Watkins as well in the second half, where I think Tielemans kind of plays him in, where Tielemans could have had a shot because he's like edge of the box himself, and everyone was shouting around me, just shoot. And I was the same. Puts it into Watkins. Watkins is kind of closed down quite quickly, gets a snapshot away, but again, straight down the throat of Nick Pope, and quite a comfortable save for him. And that was kind of the end of the Villa kind of attacking play, really. I mean, I think Tielemans put a cross in late on, was it? I think it was before the red card. And it's a lovely cross in the box. And it literally bounces in the 6-yard box. And he's literally arms up in the air saying, what more can I do? I've literally put that on a plate for you. Nick Pope is not coming for that. Anyone who had an attacking intent or, an attacking feeling in their body, that's a goal. It's a wonderful ball in from Tielemans. It's exactly where you want it to be played. And not one of our players gambled that it would end up in that space. It's in a 6-yard box. Surely you want to be attacking that space. So that was a bit disappointing that we didn't do that. And then Newcastle, we're attacking as well at this point, actually. And I think John McGinn retrieves the ball, cuts it back to Matty Cash. Matty Cash then gets towards the kind of byline, and you're thinking, okay, he's going to hang a cross into maybe the back post or near post, or maybe win a corner or something, get it deflected off the defender. But he decides to put this cross in, which basically is behind everyone and ends up in like the D. And all of a sudden, Newcastle, Alanga picks it up and is then counter-attacking, because we've committed so many players forward at that point. And literally, I think it's like he plays a ball into Anthony Gordon. It's a foot race between Gordon and Konsa. I think Mings is there on a cover as well. But, as soon as Anthony Gordon gets moving, you're not going to catch him. And then Konsa is the wrong side and literally just puts his arms on his kind of shoulders. And I have to agree, it is a red card. I mean, look, from a Villa fan, if it was the other way around, we would all be asking for a red card as well. So I don't think we can say, it wasn't a red card. It's 100% a red card. Gordon's through on goal without Konsa pulling him back. So Konsa now, he's in my FPL team as well. But yeah, so he's going to be suspended for a game now against Brentford, against his former team. But he did what he had to do. He took it for the team. And then obviously after that, it's kind of Newcastle pressure for the last sort of 20 minutes without them getting a chance in. I think Gordon did a nice little mazy run, long shot from distance. That was comfortably safe from Bizot. Barnes put one over the bar where it looked like it was going to be a good opening. I think Matty Cash blocked a couple of shots. As well took one to the belly area, I think, again from Harvey Barnes. There was a ball into the box late, which I think Gordon was trying to get to but couldn't get there. So, they were pushing on. They were trying to pile on the pressure, and Villa were very much just hanging in there. I was very surprised at the lack of substitutions. I think we only made one sub in this game, and Malen did come on with about 8 minutes to go or something for John McGinn. I mean, obviously with 10 men, and he didn't bring on Pau Torres. He actually put Boubacar Kamara back at right centre-back, who I thought did really well there as well, by the way. But I'm not saying I want to see him play there against Brentford, because you're taking out one of our best CDMs. play him at centre back. So, but I thought Boubacar Kamara did well. I was just quite surprised that Pau Torres didn't get the nod to come on, and he shuffled it around somewhere else, and it was Kamara who was put back. So it'd be interesting to see what he does against Brentford. But I fully expect Pau Torres and Mings to be a partnership there. I know they're both left-footed, but this is what happens. We haven't got any cover. Well, apart from Bogard, we haven't got any real cover for Konsa. So let's see what happens there. But I just felt the 0-0 was probably the best result we could hope for after the going down to 10 men. Having started the second half quite positive, I was disappointed that we didn't get to see Guessand come on for maybe the last 10 minutes. Maybe give Watkins a bit of a break. There were a few kind of changes that could have been made, even Martson. But I suppose if you're defending, maybe Digne's a better defender than Martson. But yeah, it was just a bit disappointing. We didn't get to see the new man come on the pitch, which would have been nice in front of the Villa Park fans. But I'm sure that he'll have a big part to play throughout the season. So 0-0 in the end, guys. Good game. Well, I say good game of football. It wasn't the best. I mean, the referee also, this guy was Craig Pawson. I mean, I thought he was very, very poor. There were things that he was letting go, which he shouldn't have done. There were decisions that were 50-50 that he was giving to Newcastle. There was one point, I think, in the first half where Tielemans wins the ball cleanly and we're just about to launch an attack. And then he basically just pulls it back for a free kick. And you can see Tielemans is like absolutely frustrated. He's won the ball cleanly. I mean, you've got to, you might bring your man down to bring the ball, but it doesn't mean it's a foul. If you won the ball 100%, and that player, the opposition player, the Newcastle player, does not have any control over that ball, how can it be a foul? It was a few strange decisions, very, very strange decisions from him. And I wasn't best pleased with him at all. But Villa, just flat, need something. I think, as I said, we're still missing a signing or two. We're still missing a player that can give us the X factor. It's getting late into the window now. I'm not sure we're going to be bringing in players. Obviously, Ramsey looks like he's leaving, but it looks like we're not going to be replacing him with anyone on a permanent deal. We're probably looking at the loan market. Asensio is the name that's doing the rounds at the moment. Trossard's been mentioned as well. Let's see what goes on. But I think we do need a player or two. I think we missed a trick in not bringing Jack Grealish back. I'll tell you that much. I think he would be someone who would fit into this team really, really well. But that ship has now sailed, shall we say? But yeah, guys, really, really great to get down to Villa Park. First time in a long while, as I mentioned. I'm going to have to pick and choose the games that I go to, but I want to go more this season. Obviously need to make sure that my son is happy with everything as well. But yeah, we march on to the next game. What I wanted to say as well, it was, as I said, really lovely to meet some lovely people in Birmingham. And I'll just finish off by saying, meeting the people around Birmingham was brilliant. As we were coming out of the game, walking back to, our car, a few supporters came over to us. My daughter was wearing a Villa shirt. Obviously, I'm wearing this hat. They sort of came up to us, and one lovely gentleman outside the Doug Ellis stand gave us a match program. So thank you very much to whoever you are, and maybe if you are listening or know that person, that you gave a match program to a little girl wearing a Villa top. And then we were walking towards the car again, and another man came up to us and very oddly gave us this. I don't know if you can see it, a box with a Villa badge on it. And I was like, okay, he gave us two of these. And I was like, okay, what's that about? So he's like, oh, here you go, like, nice little gift for you. Get home and open the first one, and it turns out it's one of these. It's a lint brush. Random, but it's got the Villa badge. Very random, but there you go. And then as we're walking through Aston Park on the way back to the car, there's a cricket match going on. I think some players are getting ready to go and play, so they're in their cars, in their boots, getting ready for the cricket match. And all of a sudden, obviously, they sees my Villa, my top, and my daughter's kit, and all of a sudden, just gives us randomly a Villa shirt from his boot, saying that's for my son. So thank you very much. For your generosity, and I'm definitely going to be paying it forward. But that was picked up as a freebie from somebody randomly in Aston Park, just saying, "Here you go, have a little gift." And it was properly in its like plastic packaging and all that sort of stuff as well. And I don't know which edition it is, but it's an extra small size, so it fits my son pretty well. But yeah, no, thank you very much for that. And it's got all the labels on it and stuff. So absolutely amazed by the generosity of the Villa fans, and I'm definitely going to be paying that forward. So whoever you are, if you are listening or know that person, who's about to go and play cricket, thank you very much, mate. Really, really appreciate that. And yeah, I felt a bit starstruck in the ball ring, being meeting a podcast fan as well who says he watches and subscribes, and he's always watching my content. So that was very good to see as well. And yeah, just an overall a really, really a good day in at Villa Park. I hope to return again. And I'm not one of these ones that's going to do the match vlogs and the videos and things like that. I'll leave that to Max Stokes. I'll leave that to Marnie and all them guys who are doing a fabulous job of that stuff. You guys don't need to see that. And I haven't got the technical skills to do video editing. I'm too old for that sort of stuff. So I'll leave Max Stokes to do all that. And, you can enjoy the video content and vlog side of that. I just like talking about Villa. It's therapy for me. As I said to you, I'm from Reading, live in Reading. I don't have any Villa fan friends. Nobody in my friend circle supports Villa. So this is my therapy, talking to you guys about the matches, my thoughts on transfers, my thoughts on the team and things like that. So guys, before I start rambling on too much, please do smash a like, subscribe. If you're new, comment as well. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Let me know if you guys go with your family and your son, and if you have any family members with sort of disabilities. How do you guys enjoy the Villa Park experience? Is there anything I can do more? I said with my son, we use ear defenders, but sometimes he's just very adamant that he's not going to get into his seat, and there's not much we can do about it. So yeah, I just wonder, is there anything else that I can do around that sort of sensory side of things? And just let me know. Obviously, the sensory rooms that we've tried to inquire about are fully booked, like months and months in advance, and I appreciate that. That's not. I'm on a waiting list, but that's going to be once in a blue moon, basically, that I'll get a sensory room booking. But yeah, guys, let me know. And let me know what you thought about this this podcast. Let me know what you know about the thumbnail, my picture there as well. That's going to be plastered all over my socials pretty soon as well. I think it's pretty cool. But guys, I'll leave it there. Enjoy my cold coffee. Speak again soon. Bye for now. Up the Villa.